Yeah. Can you hear me? Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's on Colossians. I
Yes.
wanted to
What
ask
about it?
for a bit of help with, some
What?
of the claims, like, yeah, like pretty much the correction that Paul gives, and then the context of the
I
purpose
have
of
no idea what
Colossians,
you're
right?
asking. What's the
Yeah.
question about Colossians?
Yeah. So Paul addresses like early Gnostic thought, and I
Yeah,
wanted to
proto-Gnosticism.
see, yeah, and I wanted to see if that, like Paul's correction, not only through what he said there, but if pretty much the Gnostic thought that he was correcting,
Yeah.
um, would also lean
Do
more
what?
towards the deity of Christ.
I Paul refuting the Gnostics and has to do with the deity of Christ. That's the only way we know that he's referring to the Gnostics, because he's referring to the deity of Christ. That the pleroma,
Mhm.
which was a term used by Gnostics, is in Christ. The fullness of deity is in Christ bodily. And the fact that he's affirming the pleroma resides in Christ bodily, meaning that he is God in flesh, which is something that would have been antithetical to Gnosticism, because they thought flesh was evil, matter was evil. So Paul says, well, on the contrary, the true Christ has the pleroma, right? The fullness of the divine essence, right? Theotitos, in him bodily, physically. So much for your Gnosticism. That's Colossians 2:9.
Yes. Okay.
So
And
what? Yeah. So what specific question you have then?
it was pretty much that, because I would go to the Greek of Colossians 2:9, and I hear like sometimes that it's not the actual divine essence or like nature, but it's just divine qualities.
No, the
Um,
word
yeah.
theotis means divine essence.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
even if
That's
you say divine qualities, if you possess all the fullness of the divine qualities, what makes up the essence?
yeah, the qualities itself.
So if you possess all the fullness of divine qualities, that means you possess
Mhm.
the essence, right, in its entirety?
Yes.
Okay, so to try to say it means qualities, like the Noor translation says, he possesses the fullness of divine quality. All right.
Mhm.
In order to show it doesn't mean essence, well, how can you possess the pleroma of the
Mhm.
divine qualities, all of them, not some of them, all the fullness of the divine qualities, without this meaning that you possess the divine essence? So are the qualities separate from the divine essence? So you can possess all the divine qualities but not the essence?
Mm. Yeah, that would not be possible. Yeah.
So if we
Okay.
follow their logic, so the divine qualities are separate from the divine essence. And if they're
Mhm.
separate from the divine essence, now we got the problem of how do you have qualities that exist independently, separately from the essence,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yes. Got it.
So,
Okay.
so two things. Number one, theotis does not simply mean qualities. It's the term that means divine nature, the mode of existence, the divine mode of being. Okay.
Mm.
All right, here
Yeah.
I mean here. Deity, Godhead, divine nature, right? Secondly, even
Yes.
if you want to say it means qualities, if he possesses all the pleroma, all the fullness of the divine qualities, well, what makes up the essence if not the divine qualities? So if he has all the divine qualities and all their fullness, that means he has the divine essence.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
So
doesn't work.
then I guess, yeah. Well, then my next question would be, because usually I would appeal to uh, theotitos being like the only Greek word, kind of the strongest Greek word that Paul uses. And I would, if they were to bring up that, whole argument of qualities, I would refer to Romans 1:20, um, as the Greek is theotes,
John
over
20?
there.
Where?
Romans 1:20.
Oh no, Romans say yeah, it's a different form. It's not
Yeah.
theotis, it's theetis. Romans
Okay.
1:20, right?
Yes.
Theetis. I'm trying to pronounce it like the Greek speakers would. Theetis as opposed to theotis. Theetes, and here it even shows the difference. It mentions it here. Synonyms: theotes, theetes, theotes, deity. Difference from theetes, divinity.
Okay.
But even if you're referring to theetes, divinity, in Romans 1:20, it's talking about the divinity of God, right?
Yes, seen in creation.
Yeah. So meaning there it's referring to God's divine characteristics. Creation testifies to God's power, wisdom, because when you see creation, that requires power. And when you see the intricate complexity of creation, that shows wisdom. So creation exhibits those qualities of God, the divine qualities. So that's why the word theetes is used. But nonetheless, what did I say about theetes and theotes? If theetes refers to divine qualities, nonetheless, it still would refer to God possessing all divine qualities that are essential, necessary to being God, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So nonetheless, it's two different words, but if, let's say by some chance, the word was theetes, not theotes, theetes in Colossians 2:9, that still would not refute that Christ possesses the divine essence in all its fullness, because how do you have all the divine qualities without having the divine essence?
Yeah, that would make sense.
So that's my response. Is there anything else you need?
No, it was mainly just the context of the.
Yeah, who's yelling at you in the back? Who's that lady yelling at you in the back?
No, I'm just in the car with my mom.
She yelling at you, saying, "Why are you getting into theology? Why don't you go get a job and stop living in my basement?"
Oh no, no, I'm just on my way back from work. So.
All right, so yeah, well, why don't you get 2 jobs so you can pay my bills? I'm tired of driving you around. All right, but that help you, brother? Then I'll move on.
Yeah, that helped. Thank you.
All right, brother. God bless you.